I'm running for California governor because I have an actual plan that has worked in the past and will work in California. It involves exposing corrupt officials and using the court of public opinion, akin to what we already do with our brand media assassins, akin to what is happening with Tim Walz and Nick Shirley in Minnesota. Why doesn't all the great ideas that help you and your family get through? Because they are blocked by self-opportunist politicians. So let's expose the self-opportunist politicians so we destroy their political power and thus get all the great ideas through, like decentralized energy and having your energy bills reduced by 80% or more, holding corrupt officials accountable. Nothing good will happen unless the people that have taken food out of your mouths and the mouths of your children are held to the same legal standards as everyone else. Eliminate property and income tax, which is used for waste, fraud, and abuse by corrupt politicians and is unconstitutional. Reduce regulations across the board. I'll give you an example. My friend had to do some reconstruction in his small family business. In order to do so, he had to spend $250,000 to move a toilet and its piping just 1 inch. The toilet presented no hazard, but the costs drove him out of business, destroying his small business. Destroying small business with such stupid regulations is a path to corporate oligarchy. Increase public safety. And as a victim of probably one of the worst acts of police corruption, being called an assassin, I can say that I understand why people have wanted to defund the police. But that's not the right way. The right way is to raise standards, so we don't have bad cops running around abusing their power and costing the taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars in lost lawsuits. Decentralized economy. California is the 4th largest economy in the world, and while the US dollar plummets and so does your buying power, there is an opportunity here to have a truly decentralized California crypto coin that all Californians could benefit from. Encourage the building of affordable housing communities using parts of the millions of acres of open land that exist in California. This makes our congested and unhealthy cities less crowded while giving young buyers an opportunity to own homes at a time when the average median buying age is 40 years old. Secure water for generations by building desalination plants and water reservoirs across California. Restore and protect parental rights. The state and activist teachers have no business telling you what to do with your children. Healthcare, not sick care. The current system counts on your suffering so they can make a buck. It's all about preventative care to live a better quality of life and enjoy longevity. Public Doge-like audit of all government spending. It's time we find all the stolen monies by these corrupt officials, hold them accountable, and never let them rob us blind again. Protect the Constitution. It's the one sacred legal document that is preventing us from full-blown tyranny and communism. We need a one-tier, not two-tier justice system. That means holding corrupt judges that break the law accountable, removing immunity, and restoring common law for the people. End child and human trafficking. No serious or moral society can turn a blind eye to the scourge of human trafficking. And finally, end the communist Marxist agenda that threatens to destroy our Constitution and enslave us, just like what is happening in China and just like what we are seeing in the United Kingdom and Canada. And now I'd like to tell you a little bit more about myself and my recent political journey, which started October 13, 2024, when Sheriff Chad Bianco falsely accused me of being the 3rd Trump assassin. He did this without a shred of evidence, and he knew he was lying through and through. He knew that the stories he was saying were impossible to happen on that day.
I am glad that we're not talking about this after we shot him. If you're asking me right now, I probably did have deputies that prevented the 3rd assassination attempt. He was a lunatic. It's people trying to do harm, and thank God we prevented it. And we know that we prevented something bad from happening, and it's irrelevant what that bad was going to be. I truly do believe that we prevented another assassination attempt.
The truth is that Vem Miller was 1.2 miles from a Trump rally, as this evidence shows, and he was not trying to enter a Trump rally. In fact, it was impossible to enter a Trump rally from where he was, because you would have to park your car and take a shuttle 1.2 miles down the road, and then be screened by Secret Service before you entered the actual rally. But until today, Chad Bianco lies about this topic.
Look at what we just did. We found a guy with guns inside the Trump rally. I couldn't think of the word.
Everything Bianco said there was a lie. They did not find anything. Vem literally drove up to a deputy 1.2 miles from the rally and let them know he had 2 guns in the back of his SUV.
So I'm a Trump caucus captain, but I want to be totally transparent. I'm from Nevada, and I do have my firearms in the back. Do you guys want to hang on to it? I mean, I don't mind you guys holding on to it either.
They'll decide what they're going to do.
Okay.
Just pull up in the Alcove.
All right, thank you.
Where are you trying to go?
Oh, the gentleman, that sheriff told me to pull in here because I told him I have 2 firearms in the back, and I'm just letting you guys know.
Solid, hold on.
We found a guy with guns inside the Trump rally. I couldn't think of the word. Rally. I couldn't think of the word.
By the time Bianco had his press conference on October 13, 2024, the FBI and Secret Service had already stated that there was no threat to Trump and declined to even interview Vem Miller.
This event and the ongoing lies of Chad Bianco caused me to investigate the corruption in California. And what I found is that Chad Bianco is far from a novelty. He wouldn't get away with such crimes if there wasn't an entire ecosystem there to protect him. And protect him they did. Well, after that, Chad Bianco spent the last 16 months using his power to suppress my speech, to weaponize his governor campaign against me, to put out more falsities, to put a target on my back. I've been targeted, harassed, assaulted, lost contact with my children, had my parents attacked, and a litany of other repugnant behavior due to Sheriff Chad Bianco. But Sheriff Chad Bianco, nonetheless, today is one of the leading Republican candidates. He claims that he is a MAGA Republican. He claims that as a constitutional sheriff, while using suppression of speech, while banning me from events, while insisting that armed security guards are hired to remove me should I ever go to any of his events, even as a spectator. Sheriff Chad Bianco is a symptom of the disease of corruption that is plaguing California and plaguing our entire nation. Corruption and criminals in powerful positions in our government has become the rule and not the exception. And so I'd like to tell you a little bit about my background. For 30 years, I have been a media professional. I produce thousands of hours of television and online content. I am an experienced investigative journalist, having exposed many corrupt officials before, and having been successful in removing a number of them. Another investigation led me to discover the other BLM, the Bureau of Land Management, was destroying the American rancher so they could usher in the World Economic Forum agenda of having us eat factory manufactured meats. On my podcast, the Blood Money Podcast, which exposes conspiracy, corruption, and controversy, I've heard many stories from individuals that talk about the different aspects of corruption in our government, whether it be the financial crimes that many in power partake in, those individuals that go into office for a $200,000 a year job and then exit their office with $50 million in the bank, the healthcare system and how it is a sick care system aimed at keeping you unhealthy and vulnerable, the homeless industrial complex that enriches the powerful while leaving our streets dangerous for you and your family, the two-tier justice system that destroys families, lives, and steals children from parents, tax frauds like income tax and property tax that is there to just enrich corrupt politicians, the corruption of our financial sector. You are victims of that corruption. Look what's happening to your money. You think you're holding a dollar in your hand, and that dollar does not buy what that dollar used to buy just 3 years ago. We've seen the corruption of our parental rights, how individuals that are political activists are trying to indoctrinate our children and tell good parents how to raise their children. Corruption of the water system in California, where there's an ocean right on the California coast, and they tell us there's not enough water to put out fires, when a nation like Israel has been using desalination plants to make sure they have no problems with water whatsoever. They'll tell you that desalination costs a lot of money while spending billions on projects that never come to fruition. The great risk we face right now is that our country is falling apart for the middle and low-income households. We see in New York how the young voted for a socialist communist mayor because they are so desperate they are buying into the free stuff program, and this is how we fall into tyranny. For anybody paying attention to what's happening in communist Marxist China, anybody that is spiritual is being persecuted. They are being persecuted because they believe in something. And so whether you're the yoga instructor, the Orthodox priest, the person practicing Judaism, you will be persecuted if we allow this march into communist Marxism. Just look at China. Look what's happening over there with the Falun Gong individuals and how they were persecuted, murdered, tortured, and sent to prison camps because of their beliefs. If you are spiritual, if you believe in any higher power, even if you're agnostic, don't believe the lies. We are all on the same side. Those lies are there to divide and conquer. And that's the game of politics today. It's become nothing more than gang warfare. And the common sense people are sick of it. They are sick of the division. They are sick of the system that no longer works for the people. My experience in exposing corruption taught me about where the divide between what's good for the people versus what's good for the select elite exists. And that divide is not party lines. And that's why I've created the Demtarian platform, soon to be the Demtarian Party, which seeks to unite JFK Democrats, non-establishment Republicans, libertarians, and independents to create a new political party where the policies that will make the lives of your family better come to fruition. We can no longer allow this country to fall into the gangster mentality of red versus blue. That's going to destroy us. That is going to lead to civil war. That is going to lead to the destruction of you and your family. So please check out the DemtarianPlatform.com and them2026.com. And I look forward to serving California into a better future.